For 20 years, Victoria's Secret didn't just sell underwear, they sold a global standard of beauty that felt like fantasy. It was a $7 billion empire built on a very specific secret that if you bought their lace, you bought a piece of the angel. But by 2020, the wings had fallen off. The company was bleeding cash, its CEO was linked to the sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, and its marketing was called toxic. Now in 2026, Victoria's Secret is attempting the most expensive and risky brand pivot in fashion history. They have swapped the angels for activists and the glitter for real-world inclusivity. But as sales fluctuate and the internet debates their woke transition, we have to ask, can a brand built on being exclusive ever truly succeed at being inclusive? Our story doesn't start with the supermodels. It starts in 1977. A Stanford graduate, Roy Raymond, found himself embarrassed while trying to buy lingerie for his wife. The stores were designed for women. The environment felt uncomfortable, and men, they didn't belong there. So Raymond had an idea. What if lingerie shopping felt luxurious, elegant, and inviting for men as well? So in 1977, he took out a loan of $80,000, serious money back then, and opened a store in Palo Alto Mall. But he didn't name it Roy's Underwear. He created a persona. He called it Victoria's Secret. He named it after Queen Victoria to evoke class and privacy. The stores looked like 19th century British boudoirs. Dark wood, red velvet and silk. It felt less like a store and more like a fantasy. But here's the twist. This brand wasn't created for women. This was created for men. And it was a massive hit. Within a year, he was making $500,000. But here is the plot twist. By 1982, Roy Raymond was burned out. He sold the whole company, 5 stores and a catalog for just $1 million to a guy named Les Wexner. For Roy, it was an exit. And for Les Wexner, it was the beginning of an empire. Les Wexner was the owner of the Limited, and he was a retail genius. He looked at Roy Raymond's store and saw something Roy didn't. If the brand wanted to grow, it could not just sell to men, it had to sell to women. He ditched the dark wood, he painted the stores pink and made them feel like a luxurious treat. He took the catalog and made it aspirational. 2 years later, under Wexner, the brand was worth $500 million. Raymond, unable to replicate his success and watching his child become a global titan without him, took his own life in 1993. Then came the moment that changed everything. In the 90s, he took top models and branded them as the Angels. In 1993, they dropped the Miracle Bra. It was a push-up bra with padding. It sold 2 million units in a year. It changed underwear from something you wear to something you use to create a silhouette. In 1995, they started the fashion show. It started as a small event at the Plaza Hotel, but by 2001, it was broadcast on ABC. It became the Super Bowl of fashion. In 1999, 1.5 million people tried to watch Super Bowl webcast footage online and crashed the server. Victoria's Secret wasn't just a store anymore, it was a cultural event. An elite roster of models including Gisele Bündchen, Heidi Klum, and Adriana Lima became household names. For a decade, Victoria's Secret was untouchable. Each year, one angel would wear a multi-million-dollar jewel-encrusted bra in the fashion show. In 2000, Gisele's $15 million red hot fantasy bra earned a Guinness World Record for the most expensive lingerie ever created. They weren't selling bras, they were selling a fantasy. In the 2000s, you couldn't walk into an American mall without seeing the iconic pink stripes. They owned 33% of the entire US lingerie market. Victoria's Secret became the most powerful lingerie brand in the world. In 2002, it launched a pink line to capture the teen and young adult market, further solidifying its dominance. While Victoria's Secret was busy creating this fantasy, the real world was changing. Women started demanding something different: real bodies, real diversity, real representation. But Victoria's Secret, it stayed exactly the same. The brand kept promoting one type of beauty: tall, thin, perfect. Slowly, people stopped relating. New agile competitors like Aerie, Third Love, and Rihanna's Savage X Fenty showed that sexy didn't have a size limit. Sales began to slide. By 2016, its market share has dropped from 33% to 24%. In 2018, the situation went from bad to catastrophic when Chief Marketing Officer Ed Razep infamously told Vogue that trans and plus-size models should not be in the show because it's a fantasy. The 2018 show had the lowest ratings in history. Backlash was immediate and severe. To make matters worse, Wexner financial advisor Jeffrey Epstein, convicted as sex offender, and had allegedly used the Victoria's Secret name to groom victims. The brand's image of empowering women was shattered. Facing public outcry and a brand in crisis, the Victoria's Secret fashion show was cancelled in 2019. The fantasy was over. By 2020, the empire was crumbling. Sales were in free fall, and the company was at a breaking point. In a drastic move, Les Wexner stepped down as CEO, severing ties with the brand he built over 4 decades. In 2021, the company was spun off from its parent, L Brands, into an independent public traded entity, Victoria's Secret & Co. Fast forward to today, after a total corporate spin-off in 2021, Victoria's Secret is trying to fix itself. They killed the Angels and created a VS Collective, a group that includes a soccer star, a trans model, and actresses of all sizes. In 2024, they brought the show back, but it was different. It was inclusive. They had plus-size dancers, and the wings were worn by a diverse cast. They even put the fantasy bra on a plus-size model for the first time ever. In 2026, the company is pivoting to functional lingerie. They are investing heavily in sports bra, maternity bra, and mastectomy bras. They aren't selling the fantasy anymore, they are selling the utility. Victoria's Secret is the ultimate case study in adapt or die. They ignored the changing world for a decade and they paid for it with their reputation. In 2026, the company is finally stable, but the magic is gone. Perhaps that's a good thing. The secret is finally out. You don't need wings to be beautiful, but a brand does need a soul to stay relevant. I'm curious, do you think Victoria's Secret should have kept the angels but just made them more diverse, or was the whole concept too far gone to save? Comment below to let me know your thoughts. Also hit the subscribe button for more similar videos.